Good morning, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here in Romania. And I think that, let me start to mention that the organizers of this conference, Mr. Minister, did a great job so far. Events like this exactly is what we mean when we say we want to create a movement where everybody is involved. It's not only talking about a strategy or a philosophy or a digital agenda, and even if it is a Romanian digital agenda, it is all parts of the jigsaw, so to say. But at the end of the day, we need your involvement, we need the involvement of the citizens. This, by the way, is a great example how European policies can be used and further developed on a national level. Quite often people are asking me, what's in for me, Europe? And some of you are aware that I'm Dutch, and the country I pretend to know best of is sometimes very critical on Europe, and they are asking, what for hell are you doing in Brussels and why? And this is one of those issues where you can prove that you can't do it on your own. You can't do it as a member state on yourself. For we are talking about digital, we are talking about internet, ICT, name it. It is all about cross-border. It's even not stopping at the border of Europe, so to say. So it's a global issue, and we should take into account that when we want to keep our position or get a better position, get the driver's seat in this whole development as Europe, that we have to do quite a bit. And as I have said before, I see the European Commissioner's role as an enabler, as a catalyst, as an honest broker. And ideas, creativity and ownership come more from national and local level. I badly need your involvement. If we are to succeed, we need interoperability. We need interoperability between the different layers, Brussels, national governments, local governments, and our stakeholders. And events like this, ladies and gentlemen, that is just one at national level, are essential if we are to achieve this. And as many of you know, we had the first digital agenda assembly in Brussels only a few weeks ago, where we had a wide stakeholder debate on how the agenda is going. Over 1,600 people were participating on site, not to mention all those following online, and that were thousands and thousands. The internet has changed our world, not only economically, but also socially. And we, in Europe and its member states, we need to connect to this force of change. Europe, and that's not new, is in a difficult corner right now. The Commission's Europe 2002 strategy for economic growth seeks to deliver jobs which are smart, which are green, which are inclusive, and an economy that promotes innovation. And how can you achieve that? Well, it's obvious. ICT is the instrument to achieve this. And if we don't seize this opportunity of the digital agenda, if we don't get it right, then come 2020, our lives will be the worse for it. Already, small and medium-sized enterprises that embrace the internet grow and export twice as much. And ICT creates more than 2 jobs for every job lost. To seize those opportunities, we will need to make changes. That won't be easy. It will take time, it will take money, and it will take political will. From now on, decision makers should start seeing and using ICT as an essential engine for our economy. not as an optional extra. No, it is just a must. And that is why we have the digital agenda. Yes, we are on track with many of our targets. But this in itself does not mean all is well. We can't become complacent. There is much still to do. Let me outline a few examples. First, we have to mobilize the money for high-speed network investments. To compete globally, we must get the basics right. And that means broadband for all. And that should be a bridge to Europe's future. But without it, we will be left at the starting line while the rest of the world races ahead. There is already lots of evidence that those in power are taking this seriously. That is positive, that's good. And the digital agenda scoreboard tells me that you have increased your broadband take-up rate by 14 percentage rate points. That is a good start, and I'm sure you will continue that push. That is also why I welcome Romania's national strategy for broadband development, which has the aim of increasing the household take-up rate to 80% by 2015. If you allow me to say so, you have to, Mr. Minister, a lot at stake. For 80% in 2015, great. But if I'm looking at figures now, it is worrying. So a lot has to be done, so to say. And it is so important because if there is not a situation where most of the citizens of Europe / of Romania are involved in this great development, then they are not only lagging behind, but they are missing opportunities. They are missing chances. And when I'm looking at the numbers that are not yet using internet, for example, internet use in Europe, still 26% of the European citizens have never used internet. My target is, in a couple of years, to diminish it to 16%. But in Romania, it is 54% that have never used internet. That is not acceptable, and that is what the minister is aware of, and that is what the minister is putting in his strategy. And it's not a luxury, it is involvement of the citizens. And it is not just about economic activities, it's talking about e-health, it is talking about aging population where people can get care they need, where they are interested in via internet. There is a lot to do. At the end of the day, it's much cheaper, so to say, if you are using internet and if you are using e-health and aging opportunities, so to say. So it's important that we don't leave parts of society out in our quest to get every European digital. Across the EU, including Romania, we must focus on those who are at risk of being left behind. And sometimes I'm calling them the digital virgins. And up to everybody if you want to be a virgin, yes or no. Some in this audience can't even be a virgin, but okay. Let's talk about the background. If it is a free choice, okay. But if it's not a free choice because people are not aware what's in for them, then we have to deliver. And then we have to push them that it is a great opportunity. So we must focus on those who are at risk of being left behind, those in rural areas, those with low income, or those with low education. And second, we have to deal with rip-offs on the EU mobile roaming market. On Wednesday, I set out how I want to do that, by dealing with the root cause of the problem. A lack of competition. A lack of competition in the roaming market. By giving alternative operators easier access and by giving consumers the right to choose their roaming provider. That makes sense. Then competition is back into the market. The proposal will need the support of Council and support of the European Parliament, and I hope I can count on constructive discussions ahead of June 2012, when the current roaming regulation expires. Third, we need to recognize the essential role of research and putting Europe fully in the forefront. And you shall see that the Commission has proposed that the EU budget for the next 7 years gives 80 billion euros for research and innovation. And finally, we must support open data at national and local level. Talking about the role of governments, the role of governments in developing a digital society is to stimulate the start of a virtuous circle. It is about providing sufficient infrastructure, stimulating the creation of attractive services, and through that creating demand for more online services. It is all connected. And that includes e-government in pursuing this. And Romania can help the citizen and improve democracy. And that means helping citizens to interact online and prepare for more e-commerce. And this in turn will help Romania develop as a digital society. And what's more, we need to do all this, meet all those challenges, while always keeping the user in control, without generalized top-down regulation of what is good or bad on the internet. And I will admit, ladies and gentlemen, this is a challenge. But I assure you, it will be worth it for our economy, for stronger communities, and for democracy. Not just in Europe, but across the world. And to achieve this, we need to dialogue. We need to dialogue with you, our stakeholders, in all the member states. Because for all of our goals, whether it is ensuring we get broadband for all or making copyright fit for the digital age, it cannot be done without your active input. And that is why I actively consult young entrepreneurs, young researchers, and the civil society to challenge me and inform me, thinking they keep the digital agenda connected to its creative source and mean we can respond to the energy pouring and coming from younger generations. And that is why I want to keep working with stakeholders, not just at European level, but national level and regional level too. So please tell me what I need to change and also what I must not change. Have you ever heard a politician saying, you have to tell me what I need to change, what I don't need to change? Well, here is one. Tell me what you are afraid we may miss, and tell me when the rules aren't working. For I pretend a lot. I don't pretend that we have the wisdom in our hands. We need communication. We need each other. And that is one of the issues. This morning I had a very interesting meeting in a very hot room, and it was inspiring with a couple of you. And they were explaining to me, and it's an important message, I think it is an important message, also for the Romanian government, also for the ministers and the Prime Minister and the President of this country, that it is great to develop a strategy. It is great to push it. Also talking about myself, about the Commission. It's great or not, up to you, when we are developing a digital agenda. But at the end of the day, it should function. And at the end of the day, the people at the ground, so bottom up, should be aware. If a government is developing e-government and is explaining that there is a possibility to pay your tax via the ICT way, via the possibilities. But if people are not aware how to do it, then we are missing a link. So it's a two-way traffic. It is bottom up. People should be prepared and educated and should be aware what's in for them. Also talking about farmers, also talking about all those health issues that are at stake, people in the rural areas and elsewhere are aware of what's in for them, then it's easier to implement what is developed by the governments. So it is a revolution. Isn't it great that we are a part of that revolution? It's never ever seen before. What is happening today? It is perhaps to be compared with the book print activities in the 13th century. But it is far more, and it is far more in depth in our society. This revolution, digital revolution, is the opportunity of our time. Yes, we are at time of budget cuts, I'm aware. But this is our chance, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the chance for us to transform the economy so we can maintain our standard of living, so we can maintain and just get in a better position our health care, our aging care, our educational care, and that is the chance to generate a sustainable future. And with it will come more wealth, more jobs, and a higher quality of life. And that is what we are looking for, if we can do it together. But not only top down, but also bottom up. We need to make it a close cooperation between all of us. That is the only way we can make it in time. Thank you so much.